I mean, it's been a while since we did one of these.
Yeah.
And the last time we did it, we just did it for one chapter, and it was like a sort of podcast. We had Chris with us, do you remember? And Natalie was with us. We kind of talked
all over the place.
She was pretty good for the most part. There was one part where she started screaming, and we were like, if you ever have headphones, take them out now.
Yeah.
We kind of just talked about what happened over the course of 2018, and we're like let's see.
Yeah,
brother got married, we had a kid, my brother had a kid, apartment flooded, that wasn't fun.
Yeah.
But now, since then, I've released 4 more chapters for Saiyan Tale, and we're here to respond to the reviews that you guys have left. I'm Matara / the Red Swordsman / Joe. This is my lovely wife, Rebecca, who's in so many ways an inspiration for me, she's basically the sounding board for my stories. Like, these things wouldn't happen without her. She's like the primary audience, and I love you guys, but you're the secondary audience. She's like she's the guinea pig. She's like what everything gets filtered through. So thank her for my stories being any good at all.
Alright. So
we're starting off with chapter 14 for Saiyan Tale, right?
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, this is the one where Fairy Tail has just won the Grand Magic Games, Sting surrendered to them, and then and I believe the dragons appear at the end of it. And they have they have a scuffle with the future rogue. And Goron's kind of he's like, the gears are turning. He's like, okay, there's time travelers. How is this going on? He's like, why are they doing this? And then finally it all starts to click for him.
Yeah.
But all right, so let's. It's been a while since I've seen any of these, so let's see what you guys had to say about this chapter.
All right, R Hatch 89 says, up and up. I can't talk.
Up and up.
Awesome update, smiley face. Thanks, buddy. Joe Clone, yeah, future Lucy lives. About time Natsu realized he loves her no matter what, even if it's a time-displaced Lucy. Just imagining all the Dragon Force forms is making my mind do cartwheels. Can you imagine if this kind of power could reach the level Super Saiyan has? Dragon Force 2, 3, 4. Maybe they'll transform into real dragons. The possibilities. Oh my gosh.
So, okay. A lot of interesting things to say in there. So the way that I have it worked out is basically Dragon Force equates to Super Saiyan, at least in this version of reality, or whatever you want to call it. Again, guys, it's fan fiction. The rules don't have to be so exact, but if you're looking for something utterly ridiculous, take a look at Deku at 5% 1 for all taking on Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta and Jump Force. That's a little ridiculous. So come on, this is a little more believable than that.
I don't think he's.
No. He's not. He's not. No, he is excited, but I know there's going to be some naysayers out there who are gonna jump on me for being like, Dragon Force isn't equivalent to Super Saiyan. Shut up, guys.
Well, thanks, Joe Clone. Sorry, he's being all defensive for no reason.
No. I was about to get to the good. Yes, Natsu realizes that he doesn't say it, but of course at this point he realizes that he loves Lucy. Even if it's kind of been sneaking up on him before. Something I was reading the other day that caught my attention was that so future Lucy, her right arm is missing, right? It doesn't show that the stump is there or whatever because she's got that big cloak, but you only ever see her left hand. And somebody pointed out, I don't know if this was done on purpose by Hiro Machinima or not. I probably was, but after the events of the dragons and the eclipse. Natsu has a tendency to grab her by her right hand. Before it was just kind of he would grab her by either or, but after that it's mostly him grabbing her by her right arm.
Interesting.
So
I never noticed that.
Yeah, kind of and that to me is at least in his subconscious he's grown to appreciate and treasure his friendship with her more. And he obviously hasn't told her that he loves her yet. I don't think that he even understands what that is yet.
Yeah. Their relationship is a slow burn.
Very, very slow burn.
That's why we appreciate it.
Yeah. And then I remember I had them all engage their Dragon Force early. I remember Goron teaching them how to use their Dragon Force because honestly the mechanics are pretty similar to that of Super Saiyan. Get them angry enough, give them enough energy, they'll power up or whatever. So it's not that much of a stretch to think that he could teach them the same thing. But yes, I was very excited to engage the Dragon Force early. Trying to come up with the description for Gajiel's Dragon Force was kind of tricky because we haven't actually seen it in the anime yet. We've only got he does it once in the manga so far, so he'll be doing it in the 2018 series. But it's a little bit harder to describe something that you haven't actually seen yet. But yeah. But thanks for the review, man.
Okay, Majin Lightus. Next chapter is going to be insane. I could take all the dragons out with my Royal Dragon Slayer magic. That's right, I'm a Dragon Slayer and a first gen Slayer and all that. Great chapter, mate.
What? Thanks for the. You're a Dragon Slayer too. Okay, all right. I was not aware of this.
All right, guest. Will Lucino split back into Lucy and Yukino?
I mean, yeah, they can do that whenever they want. I don't know if you caught or not, but they used Goran gave them the Metamor and fusion, the Metamo rings, so they can actually end the fusion anytime that they want to. They just have to pull the ring off. So they'll
it's
split
just
them.
a combat thing.
Yeah, it's like it helps them. I mean, it helps give them a more stable fusion that'll last longer. But once the battle's over, yeah, they'll pull it off.
Okay. All right, Saiyan, this is a pretty long one.
His always are, and I love it.
Dude, the movie doesn't come out in theaters outside of Japan until the 16th this month, so I really don't understand why you're still haven't seen the movie or asking not to be spoiled when I highly doubt anyone from outside Japan has seen the movie yet.
Is that the end of that paragraph?
Yeah.
Okay, so for this guy, I feel like I'm going to need to take it paragraph by paragraph because this is really so long. So this was written like a few weeks before I went to see the Broly movie, which was really good, by the way. I gave it like an 87%. Absolutely, I'm going to buy it on DVD. But in response to that part, dude, come on. There's people that go and fly all the way out to Japan just to see these things. And I wager that there's a few people that read my stuff that are that kind of people. Like, so it's not unfair for me to say, I don't think it's unfair for me to say, don't give spoilers because I haven't seen the movie yet.
Okay. All right. One thing I have to say is that I hope you keep the ending outcome of this segment the same. Meaning having none of the dragons be killed. Atlas Flame and Natsu becoming friends and battling future Rogue and Mother Glare together. And the destruction of the Eclipse Gate, which sends future Lucy and Rogue and the dragons out of the past back to their timelines.
Well, I mean, one of the points of writing my fan fictions, like I've stated many times before, is so there's things that are going to change. I mean, if you want to see if you want to know, if you just want the anime over again, go watch the anime over again.
Well, I think like the thing that you do specifically though is you throw in the pebble, and in this instance the pebble is Goran.
Yeah.
And you think about, okay, if I add this character at this time and place, what's going to happen to the rest of the story and how is it going to change?
Yeah.
And so I think there's some things that stay the same and there's some things that change, but it just depends on how logically the entire situation would change having Goran there. Yeah, because again, just reading it, you don't want to just, I wouldn't want to just read the same exact story over again.
At this point, the changes, like, at least, so some major things have changed, but for the Dragon arc, the only thing that has changed so far is that Goran is fighting off future Rogue, which gives future Lucy a chance to get away and live, right? And then I rearranged some of the Dragon Slayers that go up against certain dragons. Like in the original, Cobra goes up against a stone dragon. That doesn't make any sense. The guy, it's impossible for him to get his poison under the guy's skin. That is like the worst matchup you could possibly make. So I switched him to fighting off against that dark dragon that Gagio fought, and Gagio's the one that goes to fight the stone guy. I mean, what's Rock going to do against a piece of metal? You know, that's a much better matchup.
Yeah. I do have to say, I do love the way that the original story wound up in the situation. And so I think some aspects definitely stay the same and some do not, just because with Goran in the picture, things are going to go a little bit differently. So we'll see. Hopefully you like it. All right, so now into the review. Lots of stuff to comment here, but I'll keep my comments on the most of key seeds here. Awesome to finally see Juvia utilize her own move against him. It really is fitting for her having that technique, since water can be deadly if highly pressurized and condensed. I hope we see Gagiel's move in the next chapter. I still say it's definitely the Destructo disc. Wonder if anyone else will get a move of their own at some point. Can't wait to see Urza's own special technique that she's been coming up with.
Okay, so he's talking about Juvia learning the Makankozo Po, otherwise in the English dub translated as the Special Beam Cannon. It's one of Piccolo's moves. And I originally was actually going to give that move to Gagio. But then I was kind of like, so what happens when he finishes firing it off? Is he just left with this giant, long drill bit that's like stuck through whoever he hit with it? I'm like, that doesn't really work. So I decided to give him something else, which we'll talk about for the next chapter. But I was like, what? I'm like, I was going crazy trying to figure out who could I possibly give that to. I'm like, because Natsu's gonna get the Kamehameha, obviously. But I thought about also giving him the Hydro Beam Cannon, but it ended up being to Juvia because I'm like, I pretty much have the same thoughts as Saiyan here. Is like, water is like, I got the idea from, there's this type of water bomb that the bomb squad will use from police squads. Like, what it does is, it's like, it looks like this long block, and it's really weird, but like, it's curved. And what happens is they stick it, it's specifically meant for dealing with like cars and buses. So what they do is they stick it under like the trunk or wherever the bomb's at on the vehicle. And like, it shoots this water off the sides of it. It all goes down, and then colliding with itself, it shoots straight up hard enough to not only cut through the bombs instantly to sever like all the wires and stuff without setting up, it shears through the entire car. Whoa. I'm like, that is I didn't realize water could be that deadly.
Look this up and read about it now.
Yeah. So check that out. That's like one of the craziest things I've ever seen. But that was kind of what led me to go like, yes, Juvia should learn the special beam cannon.
Huh. All right. Okay. Is that all on that part?
Yeah.
Okay. The kid really does need to fix that temper of his. I still find it ridiculous how compared to every other Saiyan minus Caulifla, who first activated the Super Saiyan form, his behavior is just unbelievable. It's almost as if he never bothered to get proper training to get it under control at all. The preview hints him going Super Saiyan 3 if his magic is draining quickly and he can't maintain the form for long. I wonder how his behavior will be then.
For the love of everything, did you not watch the Buu Saga when Vegeta went Super Saiyan 2? For crying out loud, did you not watch when Gohan went Super Saiyan 2? They turn everything around them into a bloodbath, and Gohan's like one of the nicest people around. This guy is chill. But the more, I've said it time and time again, he only ever went the first stage of Super Saiyan. He never went past that until this story, so it's still a new state of mind for him. He's still getting used to it. It's still that much harder for him to keep his impulses in check. Like
do you think maybe he's talking about his regular everyday behavior though? Because he's very blunt.
He is, but like
I don't think
he hasn't
lost his temper.
No, I think no. A lot of these chapters is him in Super Saiyan. We're seeing in these chapters seeing him in Super Saiyan more often than not, which I think might. I don't want to call it a mistake, but it doesn't allow for his base personality to show through as much as I would like. Which is why there's going to be some filler chapters that help show like, no, he's still a chill guy.
All right, so this is the next part. You're really having that happen this early, huh? Nice. It definitely would help even things on the battlefield against the dragons. But, of course, it would be best if the end result was them simply defeating and not killing them, like I suggested before. I hope the kid gets to see Wendy's Dragon Force form up close. It would be awesome to see him compare her form to be very similar to Super Saiyan in appearance, while also thinking of Super Saiyan Rosé due to the color. That would be a nice little detail.
I believe he does draw that I think he does draw that parallel. I'm not sure. It's been a little while since I wrote that one. Even if he doesn't at this point, he'll draw the comparison. He'll draw the comparison later on if I haven't already iterated that. Cool. But yeah, I thought that the first time I saw Wendy's Dragon Force, I was like, hey, that looks like.
Okay. As for everything else, I don't have anything special to say besides the kid meeting Kinana's original owner. Oh, okay. Cool. I wonder how, that took me a minute. I wonder how that would go. Since, if memory serves, in the manga, Kinana is still attached to Cobra and even becomes his girlfriend at some point, that would be an interesting conversation to see between the kid and Cobra. Can't wait to see what's next. Keep up the good work, man.
Well, thanks. I think I left this chapter on a cliffhanger where Goran meets Cobra for the first time, and Cobra's kind of like, why do you smell like Cubelius? And Goran's like, the heck are you talking about, man?
Yeah, that's right. I don't know, because like, what chapter did you last read me?
I read you chapter 25.
Yeah, we're on 25. I'm on 25.
We're about to review chapter 15 here, right?
Yeah,
so we're like 10 chapters ahead of you guys.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, I'm having to like remind myself. Okay, so we're on to chapter 15, so give us kind of a...
So in this one actually covers like...
Summary.
This one covers like the actual battle against the dragons now that everybody's powered up with their dragon force, and also details some of the fights with like the little dragons that were running around, and like how the people without Dragon Slayer magic are faring against them. It ends with the dragon... Let's see. It ends with the dragons getting sent back to their time, the destruction of the Eclipse Gate. Though I did have that happen in a slightly different manner, where Natsu and Atlas Flame do a unison raid against Rogue and his dragon, and they call it the Hellfire Dragon's Roaring Kamehameha, because Natsu uses the technique he learned from Goron and Mitvis, and, you know, Hellfire Dragon spits out a freaking volcano. So, yeah, basically all but incinerates the adamantine dragon, sends her blasting into the Eclipse Gate. That's history. You know, all's well that ends well.
Okay.
The final scene is, like, time seems to freeze. And the Supreme Kai of Time, the person that Goron used to work for, steps out of the smoke and dust, and she has a god of destruction with her. And Goron's like, oh, frack me.
Yeah. Cool. Alright, so Anime A55 Kicker says, well, shucks. Maybe that... I'm paraphrasing. Maybe that fight boosted Goron to maybe beyond God level? Maybe? No? Beep.
Beep.
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely is going to get a Zenkai boost out of like going Super Saiyan 3 the first time is like always portrayed as a very rough experience for anybody that does it. Like the first time Goku did it, the first time he did it, his body was dead, so it didn't affect him the same way. But the first time he did it after he was alive, like melt his muscles, like it tore his body up. It was not a good experience for him. And then the second person to do it was a fusion character, and normally this fusion lasts 30 minutes. It only lasted 5 because they used up too much of their power, and they were both wiped after the fact. So him going to Super Saiyan 3 that quickly after only attaining Super Saiyan 2 so recently, he's going to be in all kinds of pain for a while. And if he survives it, yes, he will give himself a significant Zenkai boost. However, not going to put him up to the god level, no.
Okay. Alright, R-Hatch89, awesome update, smiley face. Simon, oh, completely and utterly busted. Laughing face.
He's been waiting for this. Yeah. He's been waiting for Goron's stuff to catch up with him.
But I'll get to that later into the review. All 3 of my guesses were correct. The kid forced himself to reach Super Saiyan 3. He finished the fight with Zarkonis, and Gajiel's move is the Destructo Disc. Awesome! Besides the battle being evened out due to everything going Dragon Force and everyone going Dragon Force and the kid using Super Saiyan 3, there actually isn't much to comment on here. It was just an epic battle with the dragons, and I'm also glad that besides Mother Glare and the dragons don't really die, and that Natsu and Atlas Flame bond still, and use their stronger power to decimate future Rogue and Mother Glare like that. Now for the epilogue. I knew the Supreme Kai of Time would catch the kid sooner or later, but with Beerus and this tagging along for the ride, I'm sorry, but this kid is so effed right now. As for predictions for the next chapter, I definitely like it if future Lucy, and by extension future Levy, considering we see she's still alive in the future, filled with fear and wishing to be saved, could honestly be the only human alive in the dragon apocalyptic future, which really sucks for her. Were recruited oh my gosh, how did he... Whoa.
This guy is scary.
How did he guess that? For the time patrol, so that would give them a peaceful life and work as a way for them to exist. Like, considering they're heavy book readers, they could help sort out many different histories that the Time Nest contains.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Bro,
so,
how did you...
like...
Wow, okay.
Are you psychic? That's a little scary. Actually, there's a couple things he didn't guess from the next chapter.
Okay.
But yeah, I love most of people's reactions, like, so far of how it's like, it's kind of like almost fallen out of your mind, at least if my writing was done correctly. It's almost fallen out of your mind that, like, he's worried that somebody from the Time Patrol would ever catch up to him. Like, he's not even worried about that right now. He's just, like, kind of focused on what's happening in this world that he now calls home. And then just at the drop of a hat, the Supreme Kai shows up and she's like, time we had a chat. And he's like, oh,
that
crap.
Part, when you read that part, I was like, I was like so frustrated that you didn't have the next chapter ready for me yet.
I know, you were like, how is he going to get out of this?
Yeah, seriously.
But,
right,
so that kind of generated the response that I was looking for.
Anyway, we'll have to wait and see. 2 weeks shouldn't be that long to wait. Glad to hear you love the new movie. It was just amazing, even though Kotaku's article on it is pretty effing stupid. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, man. I don't know whose review that was, but if they're saying that movie is stupid, then they're stupid. And I know that's incredibly juvenile of me to say, but I don't care.
That's alright. Joe Clone, dang, what a great chapter. Goran going Super Saiyan 3 felt a little bit rushed, but you made it seem like he was having a lot of trouble holding it. Supreme Kai of Time is here with Whis and Beerus? Whis and Beerus, sorry. I'm not a Dragon Ball person, even though he put his sweatshirt on me.
You said you were cold.
Yeah. Well, nice knowing you, Goran. I wonder why Lucy is not faded away, though. If I were writing this, I'd say that her going back in time is what triggered the Supreme Kai to search into the fairy tale dimension. I mean, otherwise, she'd be focusing on her own dimension space-time, but that's what I'd do. I'm curious to see what you did in Taurus. I will definitely be trying to see 3 movies now. Into the Spider-Verse, Bumblebee, and DB Super Broly. Yeah. I want to see Into the Spider-Verse still. I haven't seen it.
We'll be seeing that in a couple of weeks, I think.
Will we?
Yeah, because Chris is going to get it. He said he'd show it to us. Okay, so there's a little bit to go over there. Let me think about that. So, sorry, I'm pulling a brain fart here.
Super Saiyan 3 was a little bit rushed.
Yeah. Like I said, he had a really hard time holding it. I honestly, like, in my head, I feel like he only held it for like 50 seconds to a minute. Like, he was not able to hold on to it very well at all. Like, and like he has the thought before he uses it. He's like, I hope the blowback from this doesn't kill me. Like, he's going into this fully accepting the fact that this is either going to work or I'm going to kill myself. The movie was great, and I'm hoping Spider-Verse is going to be really good. Let's see, am I missing anything else from there?
He's just saying Goran is screwed, and
yeah, that's the general consensus
Lucy
here.
Is not fading away.
Sorry, I was trying to remember. So that's the part that I was trying to remember. Lucy's not fading away, but like I mentioned, time just kind of froze in that area. I mean, it's kind of implied that it froze all across the world, which the Supreme Kai of Time can do, by the way. And so, I mean, by proxy, Lucy would stop fading away too, because I guess it takes time stopped. Takes time for her to fade away. I don't really know.
Okay,
just accept it. It's loose, but accept it. Plot convenience, accept it. And he was also saying how he commented on how the Supreme Kai of Time should only be focusing on her dimension. That's the thing. So in the Dragon Ball Z Universe games, of course, we focus on Universe 7 because that's the universe that we're all familiar with. However, we do get a little bit into Universe 6 stuff because it's so closely conjoined. And there's mentions of Universe 11. But the truth is that the Supreme Kai of Time, she watches over all the dimensions. Like, it's not just the one where Goku and his friends are at. It's the one that's targeted the most because that's where all the heroes that we're familiar with live, and it makes for a good story. But it's in her job description that she watches over every dimension's timeline. So of course, she would eventually become aware of, hey, there was a disruption to this timeline. Let's go figure this out.
And he was saying that if he was writing it, he would use Lucy's going back in time as the disruption.
That was part of it. That was part of it. She was looking for Goran, though.
Okay.
She was looking for Goran, and Lucy's disruption tied it together. She's like, oh, that's where he is.
Okay. All right. So, I like this name. God's Executioner Reborn. Okay, buddy. Goran is in for a world of crap. Next chapter. Rest in peace, Goran. 2019. Yeah, pretty much.
You have little faith.
Water King? I don't know. Water Queen. Kuing. Water Queen. Water Queen. First off, I know the feeling. After watching the new Dragon Ball movie in its original Japanese, literally squealed like a fangirl whenever something cool happened. Yeah. So second, very interesting how you made everything play out closer to the original story. But still awesome how you put your own twist on it that makes sense. Like, seriously, very few can properly tell a story with great detail on this website.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks, buddy. Alright, third, what is your opinion on Gogeta? Personally, I was like, seriously, this is the same two-person fusion if they end up adapting this movie like the others that skip over time of bad fusions, and it is a real filler material. Anyway, keep up the awesome work on the fanfic, and see you in the next chapter.
Okay, so
opinion on Gogeta.
First of all, dude, it's Gogeta. Second,
Oh, if I said it wrong.
no, I think they spelled it wrong. Okay, so
like
you think that he feels like the same?
Randall.
You feel like he feels like the same fusion? Well, I mean, dude, he's comprised out of the same two people. It's just a different method of fusion. But I think there's one very key difference between Vegito as opposed to Gogeta, and that's that Vegito has a tendency to toy with his opponents more before he tries to go and finish them off. And look how well that's turned out for him. Vegito has never actually beaten anybody. He did not defeat Boo when he had the chance. He did not defeat Merge Zamas when he went Super Saiyan Blue. I think he honestly was trying to, but my point still stands that he failed. Gogeta, on the other hand, he's appeared 3 times, 2 of which aren't canon. But so the first one was a movie. He fought a demon called Janemba, beat the crap out of him, didn't give him any chances to power up or use any of his special techniques. He just mopped the floor with this guy in like 30 seconds. So no time wasted. In GT, which is no longer canon, he more had the Vegito personality where he was just toying with Omega Shenron, and look where that got him. The fusion ended up timing out. He was not able to beat his opponent, and of course it fell to Goku again, because it always does. And against Broly, he gave Broly no chances to. I feel like he had more the attitude he did when he fought Janemba in the Fusion Reborn movie, where he did not give Broly a chance to one-up him. You know, as soon as he was fighting him in his base form, he's like, okay, I'm having to be on the defense here all the time. He goes Super Saiyan, starts wailing on Broly. They break the dimensions, Broly ascends. He's like, all right, going blue. I'm not giving this guy any chances to kill me. He immediately, as fast as he can, he immediately takes care of business. That's my take on it anyways. Like, so Vegito tends to toy around with his opponents. Gogeta, not so much. He just wants to take care of business.
All of these crazy, weird Dragon Ball details. This is why I can't follow it. You guys, good for you. I cannot keep track of it all. Oh my gosh. Okay. Thanks for your review, dude.
Yes, that too. Sorry.
Asian-litis. Oh, this is going to be good and funny. The fights were all great. I can tell you put a lot of time in writing them. Great chapter, mate. If you are wondering why my reviews are longer than normal, it's because I'm trying to write longer reviews. Okay, cool.
Well, you're doing a good job, dude, and I appreciate it. Yeah, I did spend quite a bit of time writing that one.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so this next chapter,
16.
Chapter 16, is kind of a filler a little bit.
Yeah.
In it, Goran learns of his heritage and his relation to the Supreme God of Time. She's his grandmother. His mother is half Kai. So Kai blood runs in his veins, and there's a lot of things for him to wrestle with in terms of his newly discovered heritage. Future Lucy does get recruited into the Time Patrol. Cronoa, named the Supreme God of Time, she actually uses a temporal reversion to grow back her arm. So she's not injured anymore as she was in the future. Yeah. She does say, I'll go to the future time and I will get Levy out of there on the condition that you both agree to work for the Time Patrol. She does, however, tell them you cannot come back here. You're going to be tempted to do it. You can't interfere in this time any more than you already have. Yeah. She tells them basically the only reason I don't have Beerus destroy you on the spot is because you didn't know and you had noble intentions. Yeah. However, we do see a different outcome for future Rogue. It's actually the reason Beerus, the god of destruction, was brought along. He destroys the Eclipse Gate so that all its engineering and all its design schematics and all that stuff gone. It is never getting rebuilt. He wipes them from existence, does his job as a destroyer. He also does the same thing to future Rogue. He disintegrates him, basically, for his... and the Supreme Kai of Time is actually the one that asks him to do that because he broke the laws of time. He knew what he was doing. He went back with malicious intent to change the timeline for his own benefit, so he did not get off with a free pass. And so that was the reason why Beerus was brought along. I am glad that most people kind of forgot about Future Rogue because they just assumed that Goron was the one who was going to get a death bolt to the face. So I think I threw some people for a loop with this chapter, but it ends with the party that the king throws for all of them. Goron and Kinana kind of discuss the issue of him that he shares in the Kai's longevity. You know, he's probably going to live for billions and billions of years.
So now it's like, oh no,
so now it's like,
we have...
she's only going to live... Wizards can live for a long time depending on how powerful they are, but she can only live for like 100 years at best, you know? So and that's a blink to someone who can live for that long. So now they've got this issue. It's like I still have them established. They love each other. They still want to be together. But this is a very real problem that they're going to have to overcome.
Okay. All right. So. Simon, asterisk, not finished yet. Okay. Definitely not the plot twist I was expecting. I really don't know what to say about that. Once I finish this chapter and think it over for an hour, I'll get to that in my actual review.
Yes, finally something I threw him a loop for it. I knew it.
Awesome update, smiley face.
Who is that?
Sorry, rhatch89.
Okay, I should have figured.
What? And then Anabe S kicked her. Oh, sorry, A55 kicker.
We know what you're saying, dude. It's hilarious.
What does Goron need commit?
Come on.
I know, I just can't. I have no words.
Oh man. Some people feel like he didn't get enough comeuppance for like ditching the time patrol and kind of shirking a lot of his responsibilities, and I'm just like, wait for it. I'm like, guys, I know what I'm doing. Yes, he did something wrong. He probably got off a little too lightly here. It will come back to bite him, I promise.
Okay. Bothan the Dark Knight says, good thing Ultier didn't, or else that would have been bad or good depending on her actions.
Okay, I get the feeling this person hasn't seen Fairy Tail. So for context, Ultier, in the original story, she basically commits suicide and tries to rewind time back to when she began to meddle in events and cause a lot of awful things to happen. And she knew she would die. She felt that it was the right thing to do as an atonement for her crimes against humanity. Gives up her life in the process. However, she only manages to rewind time back by 1 minute. However, everybody was more or less aware of what was supposed to happen 1 minute into the future, and instead of like more than half of the Dragon Slayers getting killed, they were able to use this to turn the battle to their advantage in the original. However, this time, with Goron's assistance, the Dragon Slayers were matched up against dragons that were better suited to their dragon slaying magic. They didn't need to turn the battle. Things didn't look so grim. Ultier didn't have an opportunity to go after Rogue from the past because she didn't go to meet Rogue from the future. Goron did instead. So she's still alive. So yeah, that's a big change that happened there. She is still alive and well, whereas in the original, she basically spent.
So we still need to catch up with the current fairy tale because I'm really confused about that nonsense.
Like,
because didn't we see her in one of the intros?
We saw her mother.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, no. We didn't see Ultier, I don't think. But yeah, no. She basically she basically reduced her lifespan to like a few days or something like that. It's implied because you see her as a really old lady after that, and she kind of leaves a last letter to her comrades. But it's pretty obvious she's never going to see them again. So big difference. She's a really powerful mage. She's still alive. Yeah, so I would think it's a good thing that... And it's actually... This is one of the things where I didn't really think about it until I was writing it. I was like, wait a minute. She doesn't need to do her arc of time because the battle's already going their way.
Yeah.
You know?
So that's her last...
Yeah, I was about to...
ending her life.
I was about to start writing that scene and I'm like, wait, this doesn't need to happen. So this changes a few things. Like, for the most part, I have the story planned out from beginning to end, and this changes a couple things, like, in the middle, but it doesn't change the final outcome. It's just kind of one of those things where, like, as a writer, I find it funny that we can take ourselves by surprise from time to time. And yeah, that was fun.
Wait a minute, yeah. Alright. Joe Clone. A Kai Saiyan hybrid? No wonder he broke Super Saiyan 2 and 3 barriers back to back in just a few hours. I'm guessing that since Super Dragon Balls found the universe of Magnolia, you've now fully realized the connection between the worlds. I wouldn't be surprised if you had Goku and Vegeta come say hi to Goran at some point. Maybe to test his potential, like what Beerus was saying. Plus, it's a good excuse for Natsu to fight Goku at the dinner table.
I mean, eating contest, he might be able to keep up. I'm sorry, Super Saiyan Blue would squash Natsu like a bug the way he is right now.
Whatever Goran's comeuppance is, I know you made it exciting.
Yes, I did. I really did. Okay, so I'm trying really hard to remember all these things, but yes,
sorry.
Kai Saiyan hybrid. I knew that was gonna throw people for a loop because like I dropped like maybe 2 hints really subtly that might be the case and I think it's like in the first. It's like in the second chapter when they're figuring out that he's gone. That I kind of implied it that he stole Potara earrings. Which he didn't. He stole Matamo rings. But here's the thing. Metamo rings have never been used on a Kai before, so it's unclear if the fusion they created would be permanent either. And the Supreme Kai of Time kind of alludes to that because she says the items that he stole are very dangerous for him, especially given his heritage. And like, if you go back and think about that, it's like, wait, how is that dangerous to a Saiyan heritage? It's really not, like, other than the fact he might go a little power crazy, but, I mean... No, by that point we established. No, he's a good kid. He just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to be in Goku and Vegeta's shadow. So that was kind of like the only hint I dropped thus far. But I'm glad that I was able to catch. Like, I think this is the only thing so far that absolutely nobody saw coming. So I'm very proud of that.
All right. So he mentioned the connection between the Dragon Ball universe and Magnolia.
I actually expand on that in chapter 21, I think. There's you'll find out exactly how the 2 different worlds are connected. And I think it's gonna be another one of those things where it's like, oh, I should have seen that coming, but I didn't.
All right, do you want to respond to anything else on there? We kind of did.
I think we've already covered pretty much.
Goku would smush Natsu. Poor Natsu. Okay. Majin Lightus. Next chapter will be good, I can tell. Also, did not see Romeo joining Goran's team. Great chapter, mate. Can't wait for more.
That's right. That's the other thing I forgot to mention. Goran forms his team Golden Tail with Kinana, Yukino, and Romeo. Romeo actually acquitted himself very well in the battle against the dragons. Yeah. He actually managed to copy a technique of Goran's, the Masenko, and he used his fire magic to create it. And it actually helped him to slice several of the baby dragons. Some of his guildmates were like, "Hey, looks like we got another dragon slayer over here." So Goran commended him for not only his bravery but his skill in combat. And he says, "I'd like you to join me on my team. I feel like there's a lot you could learn from me." So he's kind of taking Romeo under his wing here.
Yeah, because I like that character. I'm glad we're kind of like exploring.
Again, Romeo's one of those characters where like he stays a background character, but he has such potential. Yeah. I really hope that in the Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest, as he's getting older, we get to see more of him and more of him coming into his own.
Definitely. Yeah. All right. So, Simon.
All right, another essay response.
All right, let's see. Okay, finish the chapter, and it has time to think over that plot twist. As much as I am in love with the Supreme Kai of Time, I am not too much into this shit between her and Xeno Trunks. As I prefer the boss and employee relationship they have. But it's still an interesting idea to throw out to use. And it gives a kid natural godly Kai, or in quotations marks. Not quotation marks. Parentheses. It's after 10 o'clock. I'm dead. Parentheses, or magic in this case, and parentheses. And if if it does get his own god power up, he'd get Super Saiyan Rose instead of blue. Although I still hold on to the fact that he doesn't need it.
I mean,
he's like sticking his tongue out.
Okay, dude. Okay, so remember, he's only quarter Kai, so that doesn't mean he'd automatically get a god power, or even that he would become Super Saiyan Rose. Now, if he channels the energy the right way, he could attain Super Saiyan Rose. But think about it: 3/4 of him, whatever the rest of the species are, human and Saiyan, that's mortal. So there's still a good chance that he could become Super Saiyan Blue if he went that far. However, you need to also remember he has the tail, and he's planning on going for Super Saiyan 4 eventually. He's not really thinking about advancing his god powers because, think about it, he needs the power of either divine training, in the case of Vegeta, that's how he got Super Saiyan Blue, or he would need 5 other Saiyans or Saiyan hybrids to help him power up and reach the god form. Sorry, where was I going with that? So yeah, he's going for Super Saiyan 4. He's not even thinking about the god energies, really. At this point, he's just kind of like, okay, so it makes me stronger, it grants me an unnaturally long life, and the unnaturally long life is actually a little bit of a problem for him. But back to his strength a little bit, one of the reasons I kind of thought about doing this is because in a discontinued Dragon Ball manga called Dragon Ball AF, I think it stands for Alternate Future or something, it was revealed that Frieza's mother was actually one of the Kai. Alternate.
I was like, because Ultimate starts with the U.
No. I think it stands for Alternate Future. Don't quote me on that. In that timeline, it was revealed that Frieza's mother was one of the Kais, which explains why he's so stupidly strong naturally. That was discontinued and declared non-canon, but I still hold to it being a very interesting idea. So that would also give way to Goron's natural rise through the ranks of the Time Patrol, even though he hadn't been in it for very long. But that's that.
So this raises a much-needed question. However, how much Kai, Earthling, and Saiyan is in this kid? I can bet his mother is half Kai and 2/4 Saiyan and Earthling, but I don't remember what the father was.
Okay, so I kind of already covered Goron. So Lettuce, his mother, is 1/4 human, 1/4 Saiyan because her father's Xeno Trunks, and then she's half Kai. And then the father, his name is Goken. I never really specified how much Saiyan, how much human he really is. I mean, if I had to wager, I'd say he's more human than Saiyan because that's just how most of them in the Time Patrol would be if they're descended from the Saiyans, because there's not very many of them left. But honestly, I don't think it's really that important. It's like Goken and Lettuce are very minor background characters.
Okay. As for everything else, the main major things I can comment on are when the Supreme Kai of Time, Weiss, and Beerus were in the scene. That entire thing was tense, and I like how it played out between the kid, Lucy, and the gods. Seeing Cronoa dish out that lecture and punishment to the kid, Lucy, and then Rogue was great. I'm very happy that my prediction/suggestion of having both future...
This was written way before you made any suggestions, dude.
They're all in the queue, dude. Of having both future Lucy and Levy join the Time Patrol. Now we just need to hope that future Levy can recover from the trauma she has. Seeing future Rogue be Hakai.
It's the Japanese word for destruction. So
okay, yeah.
Kami no Hakai, I believe, is the translation for God of Destruction. Unless I just bastardized Japanese. Don't quote me on that.
Was just great. I had a wide grin on my face the entire time, and it easily reminded me of when Zamasu was erased. Now, as for Potara, shouldn't they be yellow? Because the blue ones are for apprentices or the Grand Supreme Kai. So I'm pretty sure those should be yellow, as only Supreme Kai of the Universe 7 should have the yellow earrings. Just like how the Apprentice and Supreme Potara for the Universe 10 Kais are orange and green, respectively.
Okay, so you kind of got
your Dragon Ball details. Okay. Oh my
so you kind of got yourself there. So
you included
the Potara that she gave to him were from the Grand Supreme Kai. Shin, the current Supreme Kai of Universe 7, he's kind of filling in that role, even though he's never officially promoted. I don't know how that works exactly, but the Potara earrings that I'm referring to did belong to the Grand Supreme Kai, and they were blue. In the anime, we don't actually see him throwing them away or whatever, but I just kind of added that in a little detail. It's like, I better get rid of these because we don't want Boo eating these because we don't know exactly what could happen. And I don't think that's much of a stretch, but to answer that comment, yes, they do come from the Grand Supreme Kai of Time. Out of time. Grand Supreme Kai of Universe 7. There.
If Zamasu ever heard about this, he'd be so livid of hearing about a god mating with a mortal. Besides that, there isn't much to comment on here. I can only hope that you let Gray and Juvia be a thing, since I can't see Gray and Yukino being a thing at all, even if they're guildmates. There isn't any chemistry between the two for it either to work or make sense. Oh, and since... What chemistry is there between him and Juvia? He can't get it away from her. All right. Oh, and since Lucy and Yukino are keeping the Metamo rings, does that mean besides Batara, will the kid try and teach the actual fusion dance? That would be fun to see, especially with the constant screw-ups. That's funny that you mentioned that, because he just read me a chapter.
Yeah, there's going to be more going to be more Metamore infusions. I actually have a poll up on the website right now, on the fanfiction website, saying giving you guys the options of which fusion do you want to see in the future. So far, Mira Jane and Lozana is winning. Last I checked, but they're followed very closely by Natsu and Gajiel.
What were the other options?
The other options were Loxus and Elfman and Kana and Levy. Mm-hmm. I don't think Kana and Levy and Loxus and Elfman is getting any attention. Whatever. Where was I going with that? There will definitely be more Metamore infusions. And maybe we'll see some screw-ups. I don't know. Maybe I'll do like a little omaki or I'll draw a little cartoon of the fusion failings happening. Because you're right, that would be really funny. As for Groovia, just stop. I cannot ship that.
It's such an unhealthy relationship. Like, imagine if they were reversed. If Juvia was a dude going after a girl like that, everyone would hate him.
Yep.
Like, it's abusive and creepy. She has no concern for his feelings.
Everybody keeps telling... What annoys me about it is that everybody keeps telling Gray to consider her feelings. I'm like, why is no one considering Gray's?
Yeah, just because he's a dude, he has to just go with it because she's all over him. But it's like, you know, if the roles were reversed, everyone would hate him. Mm-hmm. You know? And...
Thank you for pointing that. I never, that's always been at the edge of my mind, but I've never been able to actually put it into words. I've always been annoyed with it because I don't see any chemistry with them, and he doesn't reciprocate. And basically, yes, they end up together at the end of the original manga, but it's basically Stockholm Syndrome.
It's fish love.
That's what it is.
So fish love is when you say you love fish. No, you do not love that fish because you want to kill and eat that fish. You love how that fish makes you feel.
We're not saying that Juvia wants to kill Gray, by the way.
No, but the point is you love what that person does for you or how that person makes you feel. You do not have any regard for that person. You don't care about the fish's feelings when you're killing it and eating it. You just care how that fish is making you feel. That's fish love. You know, a healthy relationship, you're more concerned about that person's feelings than your own. So if you can see that that person is uncomfortable, you respect that because you care for them. And she has no concept of that, which is why it's an unhealthy relationship that would never work.
Okay, and so yeah, I think we've done.
This is
usually the part where you're like, okay, Joe, calm down. And I'm like, I'm not going to say calm down here because we're both kind of fired up about this.
No, that's the thing. Everybody always ships them, and it just makes me uncomfortable because I just picture myself in Gray's shoes. Like, if there was a dude acting like that about me, that's straight up Ichiya nonsense to another level. And,
she full on stalks him.
Yeah, so that's I don't know. I just feel sorry for Gray. And, there's even a point toward the beginning of the show where it's you almost wonder if he has a crush on Lucy. And you're like, what?
To be fair, she's a very attractive blonde girl.
Yeah, and he's concerned about her as a friend.
Yeah.
But it's
But that's his nature. He cares a lot about the people in the guild, but note that he cares about them all pretty equally.
Yeah,
even when it comes to Natsu,
show romantic interest in anybody. It's he's got his own agenda, and he's not, romance is not something that's on the top of the list for him.
Now on to Gray and Yukino as a ship. So, first of all, it's I I can already see that going better than Juvia and Gray. But hear me out here. So far, it's just like handsome guy sees cute girl, and they're both kind of like, oh yeah, they're attractive, and they seem like nice enough people. And consider this: these are not the same. They're very similar, but they're not the same fairy tale characters that you know from the anime. They've had different experiences thus far, and little by little, that is beginning to change them. You guys need, if you're going to keep reading the story and understanding the character's development, you need to understand that. Yeah, again, think about the ripples. These ripples are getting longer and wider and bigger as the further they go across the lake. So, Gray will not put up with Juvia's crap because Goron's like, get a spine, dude. And Yukino has joined Fairy Tail, which I think was received pretty positively.
That's the other thing, too. Like, Gray, you know, if he cares about her, he needs to, like, stop, like, leading her on and actually show, like, not mess with her emotions by...
Gray doesn't lead her on in the original, though.
No, I know, but that's the thing. By not ever completely shutting her down...
He tries to, and then people are like, "No, shut up. You need to consider how she feels." And he's like, "What the crap, guys?"
Yeah, but like that's the thing, though. Like, yeah, I guess he does kind of try to shut her down.
Remember,
but I'm like,
there was a scene.
Concern for her feelings.
There was a scene in this corresponding episode in the original anime where Julia's like, "Oh, I've improved myself for you again," and he just like turns away and he's like, "Okay, this is a new improved version of me that's not afraid to tell you what I think." And
I forgot about that.
Yeah, she's about to start crying, and he's about to like let her know what he thinks, and Leona's like, "Nope, stop. You need to consider how she feels." And Gray just has this look on his face, like, "Really?"
By not shutting her down, I'm causing her to be miserable and sad for even longer because she can't be with me, and she doesn't understand why. It's like instead of being able to move on and be happy. I don't know. Sorry,
I honestly
it's not
ship
that
Leona.
I don't like Juvia. I do, but yes, she deserves someone who cares
Leona
about
and Juvia's
her.
like, he's a nice wizard. He ain't bad looking. He actually cares about you. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, and it's like, you know, again, you can go to the whole, like, reverse where he's being creepy, but it's like, you know, it seems like he does genuinely.
Leon was not creepy.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like, when she was, like, saying, whenever she told him that he was being kind of a deadbeat or creepy, he would, like, look really dejected, but he would back off.
That's true. Yeah, so it's not the same, because Juvia, like, has her freaking shrine to Gray in her house.
And when he realizes that she doesn't like him the same way, she's going to keep going after Gray, he steps back.
Yeah, because he respects that, and he cares for her, so, like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
So, Gray and Yukino, don't know if that's going to be... I'm going to leave you guys to wonder if that's going to be a serious thing or not. Right now, it's like cute boy meets cute girl. It's like... They're going to have a good time. Why not give it a shot? Not every ship ends up being riding off into the sunset and getting a happy ending, guys.
And you guys know very well who've seen Fairy Tail, most Fairy Tail relationships take freaking long time to actually, you know, Goran and Kinana, you know, they're like this abnormal Fairy Tail relationship because they actually get together really fast.
Not even as much because the context is implied that they actually get to know each other for like more than a year.
That's true.
Like,
but
I skipped most of that because there's not much going on.
Main character Fairy Tail terms, that's a very short period of time
fair.
Because all the other like potential relationships, because there's not a lot of relationships, are very slow burns, and you're like never quite sure, especially with like Natsu and Lucy.
The exception to that is Bisca and Alzak, who get married
but
and have a kid.
They're like the one couple.
No, you're right.
That is actually like a thing, and it's like for sure. So no, well, I mean, there's couples in other guilds, but we're not really concerned with them. Alright, so anyway, nice work. Can't wait to see more, and I hope I'll be able to make progress on my own Dragon Ball story myself.
Oh, dude, cool.
Awesome. And I'm just gonna show you that real quick.
Let's see, yeah. Okay. And is that...
That's the last one for that chapter.
Okay. And then I think we've just got chapter 17 left, and that's the last one?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, you want to... Okay. Let's see how many...
We should... I don't think there's that many for this
cool.
chapter. Okay.
Alright. Joey Ginsei. Something tells me that Kaidan is Goran's Saiyan name.
Okay, so for this,
pretty good.
So this is a filler chapter. It's them on their way back to Magnolia after the party.
I'm dying of thirst. I'll be right back.
Okay, so it's them on their way back from the party. Natsu and Goran's teams, they get the sacred carriages. They're riding back. They stop together, and one of the most important things that happens is that Goran confesses to Gray that he is planning on buying a home for himself, and he wants to eventually get engaged to Kinana, actually sometime hopefully sooner rather than later. because things have kind of been put into perspective for him. It's like he wants to spend the rest of his life with her, and they all came pretty close to being dragon munchies. And that kind of puts things in perspective, and it's like he loves her and she's his best friend. So what other reason does he need to want to marry her? So that's kind of what happened in this chapter for the most part. And they get the welcome home, and this is actually the first time Goran goes into the original guild hall. If you think about it, he's only ever been out in that farmhouse. He's seen the original guild hall from a distance. He's never actually been inside it. So for him, it's like he's kind of like, I finally come, and like he knows that the time patrol is never going to bother him again. He's finally able to say to himself, "I've come home." So, and as for who Kaidon is, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Whoever this guy is, it's probably not going to be an easy fight. Ooh, there's some funny things about that. Yeah, you'll find.
Oh, y'all are gonna be kicking yourselves.
When are you posting the next chapter?
The 1st of April.
Oh dang! So they have a little bit to wait. All right, R Hatch 89. Awesome update. Smiley face. Thanks, dude. All right, Majin Lightus. Oh god, I'm laughing so much it hurts. Oh god, make it stop.
What did I say that was so funny?
No. Great chapter, mate. Can't wait for more.
Alright.
Saiyan, sorry. Some fluff is good every now and then, and it doesn't need to be long either. There really isn't much to say at all here besides one thing, the Juvia part. What's hilarious and ironic is that Juvia is right. The kid is getting in the way in being between her and Gray, because they always have a good chemistry when working together.
Keywords working together there, mate. Not talking about when they're on their personal time.
Yeah. And it did blossom into a romance after the second time
skip.
After the second time skip following Makarov disbanding Fairy Tail, which is true, which was further down the road, but he kind of ditched her like a jerk because he doesn't care.
He says that it was to keep her safe, and I think that was true. But again, this kind of reflects.
If he had more concern about her feelings.
No, I think he would have done the same thing to any of his guildmates.
If he was in a romantic relationship with them.
He wasn't in a romantic. No, in the manga, I read this part. He tells them, she's like, "Oh, we live together," and he's like, "Yeah, because I couldn't get her to leave."
Okay.
He did not ask her to come with him. Yeah. He actually kept trying to get away from her. She kept trying to get in the same bed as him every night, and every night he would flash freeze her and move her out of the bedroom. He was like, "Get away from me."
Poor thing. Oh, she's pitiful. All right.
Wait, poor thing, him or Juvia?
Both of them. And it did blossom into romance. Blah, blah, blah. Fairy Tail, which was further shown when they were forced to kill each other but refused to do so and killed themselves before Juvia saves Gray's life.
I'm assuming this is something that happens further down the line.
Yeah, because we have not seen this yet. At the cost of her own, which sent him into a rage-filled fury. Okay, I need to catch up.
If anyone from the guild died in Gray's arms, he would be thoroughly livid about it.
Very true. But with the kid being here, he's ruined every chance for Gray and Juvia to strengthen their bond and teamwork to lead up to that.
And my job there is done.
Rest in peace, Gravia. I hope you will get a chance to be resurrected in the future of this story. Or at least hope the Supreme Kai of Time can do something to fix that, since she loves romance situations. It's not romance, it's stalker and scary. Not romantic, dude.
Let me stop you right there. Gruvia is not happening in the story. It never happened in the story. It will not happen. It's not happening!
Oh, see, that's not romantic at all. That's really creepy to me. Like when she expressed shock over the chance that Krillin and 18 wouldn't get married. See, that's precious. Krillin and 18 are precious.
That's adorable.
That's romantic. That's
there wasn't
cute.
Stalking happening there.
Yeah, neither. Yeah. Okay.
This is apples and oranges, dude.
Yeah. Anyway. Now, who's this new guy? I bet he's the kid's rival from the Time Patrol. If Kaidon is the kid's true name, I'm calling him that from now on, since I never liked the name Goran from day one.
You made that abundantly clear.
Can't wait to see him kick.
Oh yeah, because Gohan is so much more original.
And I'll bet anything due to coming here without being embedded by Shenron. This guy doesn't need to use magic and can use Ki normally. Meaning, Kainon is effed. Since Ki is far stronger than magic, I can see the upcoming curb stomp on the horizon. Haha. Lastly, or do you want me to pause?
Yeah, I just want to say, it's not the fact that Shenron embedded them there, it's the rules of the universe work differently. So anybody that comes from the Time Patrol or any of the other universes, they're going to be bound by the same rules that anybody else in Fiore is.
Lastly, may I make a suggestion? At the end of the future chapters, or maybe as a spin-off Omaki series, maybe you can do a thing showing future Lucy and future Levy's work with the Time Patrol. I honestly think that would be a cool thing to do if you're interested in it, that is.
Okay, so that's a really good suggestion, but the only thing I'll say about that is that we haven't seen the last of future Lucy and future Levy. Not saying that I'm not saying that I'm doing a spin-off series or whatever. Just know that I'm not done with them. I do have plans for them in the future.
Okay. Joe Clone, yeah, happy ending to a great arc. Hope Gray will be alright now. Is it canon that he marries Juvia in the official timeline?
Nope.
No. I know Nalu happens. Still been slacking on starting Fairy Tail since SAO... the Alicization?
Alicization?
Since the SAO Alicization and the Ace Attorney Season 2 have been on my go-to anime for this season. Not to mention that I am now also a Keyblade wielder.
Okay, so Nalu kinda happens at the end. I don't know that you could exactly call it confirmed, because Lucy definitely has a moment where she realizes how she feels about Natsu. But, Natsu's Natsu, so...
Yeah.
Machinima trolls us to the end, basically.
Eventually
However, the Fairy Tail 100 Years arc, the 100 Years quest...
They have children.
Is No, that was scrapped.
Oh, that was scrapped.
Yeah, that was a light novel series. That was a light novel series. It was scrapped.
Mm-hmm.
The new 100-year quest, which is being done by one of Machinima's understudies, I believe.
I will always be a Nalu.
No, I'm a Nalu shipper too. Team Natsu's going on a 100-year quest during this new series, and I think Lucy, from what I understand, Lucy's kind of trying to get Natsu to figure it out, but he's Natsu. He's
Natsu.
His head's made of bricks.
We'll see if we ever get there. All right.
One can hope.
Okay.
I might have something to say about it in this story, so we'll see how that goes.
Do you know anything about these things that
Yeah, I do not. I haven't seen SAO Season 3 yet. I'm kind of waiting for it to be finished on English dub so that way I can just binge the whole thing.
I'm excited to see that, honestly. I've kind of become disillusioned with SAO because I'm frustrated with what they've done with it, but I still want to see it just because it was...
From what I've heard, this helps. This is gonna resurrect the franchise.
Okay, good. Yeah, I just don't even get me started. They just kind of slaughtered a story with a great potential, so... Okay. Anyway, speaking of which, I've gotten to a point where I like your version a lot better than the original. Yes. Okay, and a guest. Next chapter says Eclair, are you doing Phoenix Priestess?
I am. I figured out how to work the Phoenix Priestess arc into the canon timeline, whatever the heck we're calling this.
Yeah. And by the way, I hate Eclair. I'm a weirdo. I know. There's something wrong.
I mean, she's fairly intolerable for most of the movies, so that makes sense. But
he was super sad about her dying, and I was like, good riddance. Jeez Louise. So
I'm she just started to get nice. Why did she have to die?
Yeah, but that's the thing. There's a lot of random characters that I don't like Levy and
What do you have against her?
She's just kind of annoying. I mean, eventually she gets...
she kind of turns into Gajiel's cheerleader for a while there.
Yeah.
That's kind of annoying, but...
You hardly ever... And, when she does use her magic, it's super cool, and it's I like that, but it's
It's super underutilized.
Yeah, and there's, so much... She has so much potential, but she ends up just being this cute little girl that the guys like, and that kind of... Yeah, she definitely, I think, her and Gajiel definitely...
Oh, they definitely had it. Oh, yeah.
According to the last episode we watched. So I can ship it.
I do ship it.
So I'm not crazy. I mean, I don't hate her as much as I hate Wendy. So that's okay.
You just hate Wendy because you have the same personality as her.
Yeah. Yeah. She's stupid and little and pointless, and she falls on her face all the time.
Not in this version, she doesn't.
Pointless. She's pointless. Even
not in this.
She's always pointless.
Nope.
She's pointless.
Nope. I've managed to get good use out of her.
It's like we don't have a girl dragon slayer, so let's make a cute little pathetic one with a cat that tells her what to do. Okay. Sorry. I prefer Carla to Wendy, and Carla is pretty intolerable. So
I think Carla's assumed that I done right. She's insufferable when you first meet her.
She's getting better. Yeah,
I think she's come a very long way.
The current season, I really like her, which is really weird because she's like a total furry. Like I don't know. It's weird.
I hadn't even thought of that.
But I actually like her better than I ever have at this point.
Oh my god.
Weirdly.
I think it's the last review. Isn't
yeah, that's the last review.
All right. So sorry we didn't do this for so long.
Yeah, we've kind of had crazy life stuff as usual. As you guys know, we're always dropping stuff on you, but
thanks for joining us this time. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the story, and stay tuned for next month. A lot of you guys are going to be surprised about who this person looking for Kaidon is. I'm very, very interested to see how they all take this one.
See, I kind of knew because you were like brainstorming and telling me about it back in like November.
No, I was generating this like back in July.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's been a while.
You told me you were kind of telling me about this character a while back, so it'll be interesting to see how you guys react because it's been a while since I had the surprise reaction. So,
alright. But anyways, thanks guys for joining us. Red Swordsman out.